Hello, everybody. It is Wednesday, August 26, 2026. We are live, and I, for one, am annoyed. I'm annoyed. I'm annoyed. I'll admit it. Okay. And I mean, it's one of my biggest pet peeves. I think it's like pretty obvious what sets me off at this point. And one of them is somebody projecting, saying that somebody else is doing what they're doing, but really what they're saying is that the victim of what they're doing is doing the thing that they're doing. Yeah, if that sounds confusing, that's how it makes me feel too. The one silver lining here is that it's all coming out public before their little plans can take effect. And so it just makes them look more clownish, in my opinion. Okay, hashtag this is public. Okay, wait. Real O'Brid said this live will be all true, based, and facts. And also, I want to add to that, and also opinions. Okay, also, it's going to also include opinions. Okay, all right. So everybody and their mom on YouTube already made a video about this. I had a nail appointment this morning, and I had to get my pedicure, my, every other month pedicure. I had to get my nails done. I had to just, I don't like actually even feel that good. I was actually laying on my porch getting some sun, which I really don't normally do, but I feel like maybe I'm low on vitamin D or something, girl. I was contemplating even coming on here live, but things need to be addressed, and they need to be addressed in due time, and that's now. So, all right. Okay. So shout out to the bammap.com. Somehow, as usual, and again, has gotten some exclusive insider tea somehow, some way. But you don't only have to take the BAM Maps word for it, because this has also been corroborated by Echo-based Network's source. So let me show y'all that first. So let me just show y'all the source corroboration first. Okay, hold on. I gotta turn the audio thing on. Okay, hold on. Jesus. Okay, nope, that's not it. I wasn't planning on getting to the Echo-based Network this early, but I guess I should have. Okay, I got it here. Shout out to Echo-based Network too for this. So they put a video out on this an hour ago. I did not put their video link in the description box down below. However, I should. Oh my God, girl, be quiet. I should. Hold on. Oh, my eyes are dry from sitting out there in that sun. Okay. And I'm kind of like seeing spots. Like, it was really bright. It's like pretty much midday. Okay. I gotta switch my accounts so we don't have to deal with these ads. Oh my God. Imagine watching an ad. I don't actually mind it that much, but when I'm like live, I definitely don't want to do that. Okay, so this is Echo-based Network, as y'all know. This video they just put out 1 hour ago. It says BAM turned on Brian Mansell days after days after the settlement. Okay, yeah. And then the thumbnail says, so much for the apology. Okay.
Well, I would say the video.
Let's see. They got through the intro. Let's see. Hold on.
And I apologize for giving such a terrible intro. It is past my bedtime. Here we go. So this is from the BAM Map, and I did talk to...
Okay, this part I want y'all to listen to.
...personal friend of ours who is a current BAM owner. And here's what happens.
Tell me.
Quarterly, Bricks and Minifigs has these town hall meetings that...
So 4 times a year, Bricks and Minifigs has a town hall meeting. Got it.
...stream. Owners can watch.
Okay.
Maybe a very small amount of managers can watch.
Okay.
And Ammon McNeff and the team addresses all of the franchisees.
Okay.
They are able to.
So Echo Base Network, Coach from Echo Base Network, and Nick, they came together. And shout out to Nick. He was on the channel the other day. I got to get Coach on the channel too. Got to wait till there's another instance of tyranny, which I'm sure won't take long. He's been busier though, Coach. I love Echo Base Network. Y'all make sure you're subscribed, although I'm sure everybody in here is subscribed already. So they're saying they talked to their, personal friend who they usually get information from, their source, and the source confirmed this is true. This is real. This meeting really happened. The town hall meeting really happened.
This stream. Well, it is kind of like on a Zoom platform, if you will. Yeah. Well, this is crazy, bro. The things that Ammon McNeff just said about the person.
Indeed. I totally agree. Oh my God. It is crazy, bro. So, and shout out to Echo Base Network for that video. Y'all should definitely go watch their video. It's only like 10 minutes long. So, definitely worth the watch. And they give their opinions, reactions, and some more insight from sources and all of that. But I just wanted to mostly play that to y'all today to kind of corroborate this bammap.com, which in and of itself and in its own right has been, I would say, pretty reliable as of so far. So shout out to Echo Base Network. Okay. So now we are going to move onto the BAM map. I have 2 BAM map updates to talk to y'all about, and I have another update coming later today with a special guest, but I'll talk more about that when I have more details. But there's 2 different posts on the BAM map that I want to talk about today, and this is the first one. So just reading from the title, it's kind of just like, okay, another exciting day at the BAM map or whatever. I mean, everything's good or whatever, but like, I'll say it. Some posts get me a little bit more excited than others. So on first glance at this title, I don't think it gives it enough gravity of what's really going on here. And maybe I'm just biased because it pretty much seems like to me that the Bricks and the Minifigs group chat, the Slack, is completely obsessed with me. It seems like they're hanging on my every word. It seems like they are all sitting around whatever they're doing. I don't know, maybe trying to sell Scentsy or something, and also watching my videos at the same time. It just seems like it. And I'm not the only one. I don't pretend to be the only one. It seems like they're pretty obsessed with a few of us. And girl, they know who I'm talking to when I'm talking to them online. It's really kind of actually flattering. Thank you. At least they have good taste somewhere in their lives. Anyway, so we need to talk again about that freak who can't even smile in a picture. I don't even remember her stupid name. What was her stupid name? Please, somebody tell me. Director of marketing. Was it Catherine or something? I don't even remember. Who even cares? Anyway, she's coming back up. She's coming back up. Also, oh my gosh, shout out to my my Aussie granny in the chat. It's 3 a.m, girl. You need to be sleeping, granny. Shout out to the Australian cousins and grannies in the chat. This is where the party's at. I'll tell you that, Sam. This is where the party's at. I got deep intel they didn't want me to find, much less share. Well, guess what? They shouldn't have put it public. They shouldn't have put it public because I'm gonna find it if it's public. I'm gonna find it if you put it public. Don't put it public. Don't put it public. Thanks so much to That Came Out Wrong for gifting 5 BJC live show memberships. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, Rose. Shout out to Rose Investigates for the $2 super chat. What's going on today, LLC? Indeed. Indeed. What's going on today, LLC? Indeed. Okay. So let's go to the BAM map. No, it's not Karen. It's not Karen. I didn't even realize this. I think I came into the live maybe after they had already done this. So I didn't even know when I came into the EBN Echo Base Network. I had to go to like a family thing last night, so I wasn't able to catch the first part because that ended up, it just ended up taking longer than I thought. And so anyway, by the time I came in, I think it had already happened. But apparently, Brian Mansell was on last night with EBN Echo Base Network and Coach and Nick, and they were all on there and they read this together. Like I said, everybody and their mama already probably made a video about this. I know I'm a little late to the party, but I have some things to say, especially because it seems as though Matt McNeff is personally He's personally affronted. Okay, he's taking it as a personal affront that I dared to say something that was true. I mean, it's like I'm so used to it at this point, but it still gets on my nerves. It still annoys me. It still makes me annoyed because it's like, yeah, Katie Fagan. Katie Fagan. Anyway, okay, so let's go back to this actual post. Okay, BAM said it made Brian Mansell whole. Yes, it did. In its own franchise town hall, the COO confirmed the money wasn't paid and said a bunch of other stuff too. So on August 19th, so this is now almost a week ago, actually pretty much a week ago, right? Yeah. BAM Bricks and Minifigs had put out their PR press release statement saying that they had made Brian Mansell whole. Now, we discussed this at the time, but just to remind you, at the time, Bricks and Minifigs put out two separate versions of this press release. One version of the press release was kind of seemingly considered to be like the original joint statement. The other version of the press release was a made for public dissemination press release that went to Business Wire and elsewhere, and it said that some different stuff, I'll just say. It was like version 2. We'll call it version 2. And so there's two different versions going around. The one that's like a more like a version 2, it kind of like actually explicitly says Brian has been compensated. Okay. So, I mean, I really hate to get all English teacher on everyone and stuff, but like, let's just real quick. Brian has been compensated. What is that? The past perfect tense. Is this correct? Brian is the subject of the sentence. Has been compensated. Also, he's the direct object of the sentence. Excuse me. He's the agent. The subject of the sentence ain't even been mentioned by whom. We don't know. But I mean, apparently we're supposed to be thinking it's been, but what's has been? Is it present tense? Is it future? Or is it in the past? Has been compensated, -ed suffix. Past. So when you say someone has been compensated, that means it already happened. It's in the past. It's something that has transpired already. As of right now, it's happened. It already happened, -ed. Not it is going to happen. Not it is happening right now. No, it already happened. Like, been there, done, that's over. It transpired on the timeline. Okay. On the space-time continuum, it's over there behind. Okay. So it's very, very obvious to see. Look, don't take my word for it. Here's the Business Wire, August 19th. BAM Franchising and Mansell family reach resolution over Star Wars collection dispute. Blah, 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 blah. Who cares? Who cares? Who cares? Who cares? Wait, where is it? Don't pass it up. The parties confirm. The settlement, the parties recognize. Hold on. Where is it? Girl, did they change it already? I took a picture. Oh, there it is. Okay. Quote, we are very glad this is AMN. We are very glad that through mediation, okay, this is a public statement made for the news, made to go out. Very glad that through mediation, we were finally able to sit down with the Mansells, exchange relevant records and information, and develop a more complete picture of what occurred, said Ammon McNeff. Quote, most importantly, the Mansells have now been compensated for their loss. And rather than continuing blah, 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 who cares? Lie, probably lie. I don't know. We can't trust a damn word that comes from these people. Not a single word. Not one. Lie in one case, lie in another. Quote, most importantly, acknowledging it is the most important. There's your mens rea, recognizing how important it is. The Mansells have now been compensated for their loss. And rather than continuing, blah, 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 have, as of now, as of today, as of this moment, August 19th. Well, interesting. Because I did an interview with Brian. I think it was like a whole day later. Right here. Put words in your mouth. You're so The name of the interview, he settled with Bricks and Minifigs. Now he's talking. Okay, when was this? August 20th. Okay, so on August 20th, Brian Mansell came on my channel and said this.
As soon as possible. So,
yeah, but I'm sure you also want your money as soon as possible, and they need to pay it before release. Anyway, look, I'm not going to put words in your mouth. You're so kind to them. You are so kind. So you have not gotten paid, is what I'm hearing, even though, and the lawsuit has not been dropped. So the lawsuit ain't been dropped. You ain't been paid. But they released, okay, they released this statement. All right, that's okay. That was more just like me saying things, but I don't want to like belabor the point. I already spent like, an hour and whatever on that. I'm just reminding y'all, this is the live stream where Brian was like, no, I haven't been paid. But what he also said was they have an amount of time to do it. That time has not passed yet. So, they'll probably pay me or whatever. Like, he was very kind to them, and he really truly has been very kind to them publicly. Like, ugh, girl. He really has been very kind to them. He's like, yeah, but they still like, you see, I was the one putting words in his mouth or whatever, but he did say he had not seen the money in his bank. However, he didn't say there was something wrong with it. He actually defended that action and said they still have time. It's still within the time that I agreed to for them to pay. Okay, fine, moving on. Okay, fine, moving on. The issue here is not that they had not yet paid him because the time hadn't run out. The issue here is not that they didn't pay him fast enough. The issue is not why they didn't pay him. The issue that I took with it was the tense they chose to use in their press release, because what they had stated was not true. It's not true. It isn't true that the Mansells have now been compensated for their loss. It's just false. That's the problem. Hi, Ammon. Hi, Matt. Hey. The problem isn't why you didn't pay Brian yet. The problem wasn't even that you didn't pay Brian yet. The problem was this statement that y'all said you had already have now been compensated when that was a false statement. It wasn't true. I honestly I can't even say I feel like I'm talking to a 5-year-old. I can't, because a 5-year-old would really get this. It wasn't true. It was false. And you know what makes it seem to me, like in my opinion, like it was on purpose false, which would make it a lie? The fact that when compared to the other statement, the actual official statement, which is actually linked right here. The joint statement, that's the official joint statement, right? Oh, no, it does say this. They have been compensated by BAM. But you know what else Brian Mansell said in my interview that night? He was surprised to see they released the PR statement, because maybe I'm putting words in his mouth, but it seemed like to me, he was surprised they released the PR statement before they actually settled. Like, actually, he got the money and the case was dropped. He did not know it was going to be coming out that day. So, please, I stand corrected. I was mistaken. Even in the joint statement, they say he has been compensated. Well, I asked, have you been compensated? He said no. Or specifically, I said, have you been paid? He said no. Now, Nick said the same thing as I'm saying on the Echo Base Network video. Y'all should go watch it. This doesn't have to do at all with the fact that Bricks and Minifigs didn't deposit the money in his bank yet. Obviously, all of us have cashed a check. All of us have paid a bill. All of us know money don't just fly out of one bank and into the next, especially if it's like a large settlement from a lawsuit. So no one was expecting them to have it done that fast. They announced that they had it done that fast. And so I asked Brian a question. Did they pay you yet? He says no. No. But they have time. They don't have to pay me yet. Okay, so fine, whatever. That all could have been fine and good, right? Thanks so much to Rose, Flying Money LLC. Where's it flying? Thank you for the $2 super chat. Welcome to member status, Janelle. Thank you for becoming a member. Will pay does not mean has been paid. We are in the process of paying, or maybe just wait to put the PR statement out. Well, girl, now they done had a town hall, and everybody and their mom over there at the Brick and the Minifig seems to be watching our videos. At the very least, at least the one where I interviewed Brian Mansell, which, I mean, who could blame him? That was the second interview that he did after the settlement announcement. So they watched it. Okay. So on August 19th, Bricks and Minifigs announced that Brian Mansell had been made whole and has been compensated. Both of those two things they said. The next day, he said on my video, he had not, or slash, the deposit had not arrived. Bricks and Minifigs executives called the statement that the check hadn't been deposited in his bank account yet. They called that statement a lie at their town hall meeting. And you know who said it? Ammon. Excuse me. Beep. You know who said it? Matt McNeff. He said that was a lie. Okay, so really it's a yes or no question. Yes or no. Brian, have you been yet compensated, i.e. has the money been put in your bank yet? Yes or no? Answer was no. Matt said that's a lie. Okay, so then the answer better be yes, right? The truth better be the money is in his bank, right? I know it's very, I can tell that Ammon and Matt did not study logic. And I don't even mean that in like a condescending way. You can tell. Because they don't understand what the argument or what the proposition or what the supporting points of an argument, they don't understand the parts of an argument structure. They don't know what the conclusion is supposed to be derived, which conclusion should be derived from which set of facts. None of them do. It's very basic. If Brian hasn't gotten the money in his bank, if no money bank, then has not been paid. No paid. If no money bank, no paid. Okay. So if no paid is a false statement, that means he was paid, but he wasn't. It's not even a complex statement. It's a yes, no. Were you paid yet? In your bank right now, do you have the money from them? No, was the answer. But Matt said that's a lie. Why? Because the reason why the money's not in the bank wasn't said. Well, no, Matt. We're just talking about, is the money in the bank? Yes, no. Is the money in the bank? Yes, no. Is the money in Brian's bank? Yes, no. The answer on August 20th was no. So that means it's a true. He answered truthfully. Was the money in the bank? Yes, no. No is the answer. Everyone agrees, even you. Why am I having to explain this like this? Like, didn't he go to college and graduate? Like, people that did not go to college, people did not step foot on a college campus in their whole life. Very, very plainly understand this. Was the money in the bank? Yes, no. No, it was not. On August 20th, no, it was not. Now, did I ask, why is the money not in the bank? No. I didn't ask. I didn't inquire further because Brian defended Bricks and Minifigs after all they put him through. After all the harm they admit they caused him. He's been kind to them, astonishingly. I say astonishingly because of my propensities, not his. Because it would be very hard for me to be as gracious as he has to those lunatics. Shout out to Chris Law Gorman in the chat. Wait, I lost her comment. Confused by the rules of grammar, confused by the rules of this place where we live. I mean, really, like, money was in the bank, yes or no? It's just, do they think anybody really buys this? Do they think that the people who they're talking to in the town hall can't just go on YouTube and see what was said? Do they think the people who they're talking to, a large majority of those people haven't already seen Brian's statements either on my channel or somewhere else by this point? Thank you to Source 4 for the $9.99. For all the BAM boys watching this, pay attention how our queen said I was mistaken. You obsess over everything. I know, they're obsessed. Right. Take a lesson. Because all I'm really concerned about over here is the truth. That's why I defend myself so hard when I do. I only ever do if somebody's lying or misrepresenting on purpose or in bad faith. So thank you for the $9.99, Source. Thanks about to Shape Shift Leather for the $4.99 pound. Brian was so gracious in his answers, and the McNeffs operate in pure bad faith. A direct reflection of their poor character. I mean, either they do, and I think they do. I'm actually in agreement with you. But let's just say we don't know, because we don't really know. We're not like inside their heads or whatever. So let's just say they're not operating in bad faith. They still are completely unfit to be running this company, because that shows that this is their best. Either way, it doesn't cut it. It doesn't cut it. It doesn't pass muster in any way. Thank you for the $4.99 pound. So my son's an idiot, Daniel McNeff. Okay. So we're all clear. Do I need to do it again? Was the money in the bank? Yes, no. Do I need to do it again? Or everybody gets it? Put a 1 in the chat. If we're all clear, was the money in the bank? Yes, no. The answer on August 20th was no. So to answer the question, no, was the truth. Are we all in agreement? We all, even if you never took the logic class, even if you never went to middle school, like, we all get that, right? To say there's no money in the bank is a true statement if, in fact, the money hasn't been put in the bank. Okay, so I'm seeing a lot. I'm seeing one person saying, huh, and they're getting banned because you don't belong here. You don't have the frontal lobe. You need to go to the town hall. Okay, you missed the turn to the town hall. Okay, everybody else gets it. Okay, great. I'm glad. Thank you. Alex, yes. Todd, yes. Sam, Kara, Ophelia. Okay. Got it. Okay, so everyone's in agreement except that one person. They got to go. They got to go to the town hall. Okay. If bank zero, then statement equal true. Seriously. If somebody actually draws out the truth table for the money in the bank, yes, no, truth statement, answering yes, I will post it on my posts. But you have to do it by hand, no AI. You do it with pencil or a pen. Okay. So we haven't even touched the surface, truly. We haven't even touched the hem of the garment, if you know what I mean. Okay. All right. So August 19th, they put out this statement, has been compensated, has been made whole. We all looked at that. The next day, Brian Mansell comes on my channel. He reiterates he's not actually been compensated yet, but he's not worried about it. He's very nice. He says they have time to do it. So stand by. I have full faith that I'm going to get it. Glad for this to be over. Yeehaw, giddy up. Okay. Matt McNeff said that's a lie. That's not true. Okay. So let's see why. Let's see what he's saying and why. In BAM's own franchise town hall this week, Matt McNeff told the room that the company had only gotten the ability to pay Mansell 2 days ago, which is a confirmation that what Brian Mansell said was true. Right? They hadn't paid him. We couldn't even pay him till 2 days ago. Okay, cool. So you haven't paid him then? Well, it was his fault. Okay, but so have you paid him? Yes or no? Yes, no. That's the question. It's a yes, no. It's not why. I'm interested to know why. Thank you. Now we know why, but nobody asked why. It was yes, no. And the only reason we asked yes, no, I'm going to tell y'all, I'm the one who asked him. I'm the first place. I am the one. I wanted to know, have you been paid? I figured the answer was no. Because I'm a lawyer. I know these things are they don't. But at the same time, I also, because I've studied PR and I've watched these stories progress, I also know usually you wouldn't put out a PR statement saying it's all settled unless it had all been signed on the dotted line. Like, this seemed a little premature. So then I was like, maybe he did get paid. I wanted to ask if he got paid. Have you gotten paid yet? Because they said you have. And can you imagine? If they said Brian had, I wanted to sound the alarm. Also, if he had been paid, it would give me some peace of mind, because until he gets paid and has that money in his bank, they can just not. You know what I mean? So they're putting out all these press releases and getting the benefit of the PR that comes along with it, but they put it out so prematurely that it wasn't yet true. And that was 100% their fault. So the only reason I asked Brian Mansell, have you actually been paid, is because they said he had been paid. Exactly. I mean, it's really, I did not think we were like at this level. CEOs of companies, $1 billion, whatever, 100 million, however much stupid $1 million they said that company was worth, which I don't believe, by the way, unless maybe just in rare assets that they plan to seize from people or something. But yeah, CJ, I really don't get it. Even if it really was Brian's fault somehow and they hadn't paid him yet, and they couldn't pay him yet, and that's the reason they hadn't paid him, even if it was totally his fault, they still released a statement saying he was paid in the past tense. So that was their decision, probably egged on by the PR firm they hired. They could have just not done that. Exactly. And Coach said it on the EBN. Nobody asked them about this until they said something about it. Nobody asked them about this until they said something about it. They could have just not. They jumped the gun. Okay. In the same breath, Matt McNeff floated publishing Brian Mansell's private email communications to brand him as a liar. A liar. I'm going to release our group chat. I'm going to release the emails. Why? You admitted that you agreed with him that he hadn't been paid yet. Release emails for what? He hadn't been paid yet. It was truly a yes/no question. I don't like. What? Woo. Then Ammon warned that Brian Mansell just, quote, opened himself up to more difficulty and more harm. So a threat and a further admission that Ammon agrees and admits he did harm, and Bam did harm Brian Mansell. So great. I'm glad you got that out in the open. Thank you for the admission. Okay, so then the BAM map goes through this analysis. Okay, so what are the sources? The town hall, which has been corroborated, at least. I won't say verified, because truly we can't know if it's verified unless we were there. But this is very reliable sourcing, and it's two sources. So I choose to believe that this is probably, at the extreme least, mostly accurate. That's my opinion. You don't have to agree with me. You don't have to agree with me. I'm just want to be very clear. Like, I am not the source of this information. Okay. However, we do have two different sources saying that this is legit. This really happened. In the town hall, Matt McNeff told franchisees that Brian Mansell, quote, literally got us his payment information to be able to pay him 2 days ago. It matches what Brian Mansell said on my channel when he said, yep, haven't been paid. That was actually on August 20th. COO Matt McNeff proposed okay. And also now we have another corroboration from the source that EBN has. It's crazy, Jerry. Thank you for the $4.99. Only Bricks and Minifigs is capable of turning great PR into horrible PR. It's like poetry in motion. Love to see it. Thank you for the $4.99. Coach said it too. He said, every decision they make is wrong. Every fork in the road that they have to make the right decision or the wrong decision, they make the wrong one. Every decision is the wrong decision. Now, COO Matt McNeff also proposed going, quote, on YouTube and publishing Brian Mansell's email to call Brian Mansell a liar. He said the only reason he's not going on YouTube to call Brian Mansell a liar and release his emails is because he got PR advice against rage baiting, and the PR advice was holding him back. And so I've never been more conflicted on any PR advice in my life, because on the one hand, they probably right to tell him any damn thing that they need to tell him to keep his stupid ass off of YouTube. But on the other hand, I sure wish they'd let him loose onto YouTube. Come get you some of what your brother done got. Come say some stuff out in public that we can prove with facts as wrong. I would love for you to do that, Matt. That would be awesome. That would be wonderful. We're all just waiting. CEO Eamon McNeff told The Room that Brian Mansell opened himself up to more difficulty and harm if he were to cross the line again. And then he said Brian Mansell, who has like a platinum, record or whatever thing, album credits from bands we've heard of, unlike any of these freaks, wanted a 15-minute of fame moment. That's what Eamon said. Now, something else I find to be important, and this is just from my understanding because, I wasn't there or anything, but from what I understand, this is not really a meeting. It's not really like a Q&A like that. Like, the speaker box only works one way. The franchisees, namely, mostly it appears just the owners and maybe a few managers here and there, they get to submit questions beforehand or whatever, but it's not like, oh, let me raise my hand. It's a back and forth dialogue. No, it's like all the sorry people have to sit around and listen to Queen Ammon and Queen Matt or whatever. So that's my understanding. Of course, I wasn't there, so I really don't know, but let's read further on this update. 5 days ago, the band map reported that Bricks and Minifigs had announced they had made Brian Mansell whole. That happened, a few days ago. Now, Brian Mansell, of course, said that the bank account, drop hadn't happened yet. We have not seen the deposit yet, but he said yet. Now, then Bricks and Minifigs said the following. This is COO Matt McNeff. Okay. Literally obsessed with me, Matt. Oh my God. Send an email. Jesus. The email's public. Stop slandering me. Matt said, Brian Mansell has, quote, been on with a couple of the YouTubers who are super critical. Okay. I'd love to know what the ... is right here. So at this point, I'm pretty sure it had only been me. Unless, when was the meeting? Because yesterday was Echo Base Network, and the day before that was Luss and Barbecue Counselor. I will say all of us have been critical of BAM. All of us have been critical of BAM. As well as the channel who did it before me, which was the interview Brian Mansell before me, which was Collecting Weekly. Shout out to them. They were the ones who kind of went with the story at first, like the first YouTubers to report on the story from what I understand. Like years ago, maybe 2 years ago, at least a year ago. So a couple means two. So that must mean Collecting Weekly and me, because that's two. He's already been on with a couple of the YouTubers who are super critical. And then Matt McNeff during this town hall is like, quote, or he says, Brian Mansell is making claims that, quote, he hasn't been paid yet, or that we released the joint statement prematurely. They did release this joint statement prematurely. We already did that. That's why y'all put all the ones in the chat. If Brian had not been paid, they should not have released a statement that said Brian and his family had been compensated. It was not true. That's the problem, Matt. You did release this statement prematurely. You did. You put something in there wasn't true yet. The reason why is none of anyone else's concern. But instead of again, every single time You'll have the opportunity given to you by the good Lord to do something right, something competent, something half-ass intelligent. Didn't your mommy or your daddy ever tell you that when you point your finger at somebody else all the time, you got 3 pointing back at you? Yeah, we did release the statement prematurely. That sucks. Stupid Brian Mansell. He told us he was going to give us his bank account information and we were excited to put it out, but he didn't give it. So, that sucks. See how different that is? Then that's a lie. We're going to harm him now. You're like rabid beasts. Now that I know that you're watching my videos, hi, I'll address you directly. Hi. At any moment, you could just do like something sensical. Like, I don't know, maybe not put the statement out prematurely. And then if you do put the statement out prematurely, just be like, dang, shucks. Oops. I was so excited to announce to the world. But slowpoke Brian Mansell hasn't given us his bank account information. We put the statement out. Now we look stupid. You could have said that. But it would require admitting even ever that you've ever done anything wrong ever in your whole life, or even not even wrong, made a mistake, an axe, oops, jump the gun. I mean, it's not even that big of a deal. If you told the truth, every time y'all lie, you'll make your own self look worse. And now it's so many of these lies on lies, on lies, on lies, that y'all just can't be trusted. Never will anyone trust you fully, certainly not fully like they did before. Because not only have you shown that you don't value the truth, you don't prioritize the truth, but that you're willing to just blame everybody else. You're never willing to take any accountability. It's just pathetic. There's no reality to the claims Brian hasn't been paid. Then one sentence later, he says Brian hasn't been paid. Quote, this is from Matt McNeff, quote, Brian, literally got us his payment information to be able to pay him 2 days ago. So any statements to the contrary that we haven't paid him was because, this is where you make your logical error, Matt. This doesn't answer the question asked. This is not the question asked. This is not the argument being proposed. The argument being proposed is Brian Mansell hasn't been compensated yet because the money ain't hit him in the bank. Until the money's in the bank, Matt, he hasn't been compensated. That's it. That's it. That's all. Nobody really asked why. Okay? We actually had a pretty good idea why. If y'all would have come out and said, we're in the workings of getting him his payment, that would have made sense. Would have been logical. Maybe there would have been some haters. There always will be. But for the most part, people would have said, okay, they're working out the money. Awesome. Cool. Great. Hope they hurried along. Everybody knows that you have to go through lawyers. Everybody knows that you have to go through judges. Everybody knows that stuff has to get done. You're the one that put out the statement saying he already got compensated, though. That's the problem. That's the problem. That's the problem. They chose to put it out. Brian did not pull the trigger to put it out. You did. So Bricks and Minifigs says, yes, he hasn't been paid yet. I agree with him. In so many words. I mean, I'm paraphrasing here. They said the delay was Brian Mansell's fault. Could be. Could be. He didn't say it wasn't. Brian Mansell did not sit on this channel and say, I don't know why they haven't paid me. It must be because they're evil. He just said they don't have to yet. They have a timeline window. He didn't even make any accusations. He just said the truth, which you agreed with. It's just so deranged and unhinged. Like, y'all need to learn how to take a beat. Y'all need to learn how to take a breath, sort out what's the difference between your feelings and what's reality. Maybe listen to what people actually say. I know I'm asking a lot here on that one. So this 2 days ago thing was around August 23rd. So that means, even according to Matt McNeff, on August 19th, when Bricks and Minifigs told the world that Brian had been made whole and Brian had been compensated, and on August 20th, when Brian Mansell said that the deposit had not come, the company couldn't even pay him yet. The past tense press release ran for 4 days before the money ever could move. So for 4 days sitting there, it was not true. Brian said he hadn't been paid. The truth is he hadn't been paid. That's not the thing to call somebody a liar about. That means he told the truth. The super critical YouTubers. Yeah, I am critical of lies. I don't like dishonesty. I don't like disingenuous people. I don't like it. It does something to I'm convicted. It gives me a conviction. It makes me feel like I got to do something about it because I just can't let the lie stand like that. Yeah, I am critical. But at any moment, if y'all actually did a single damn thing right and not shady and manipulative and frankly, a little bit psycho, then I wouldn't be so critical. I'd say, look, they did one thing right. Got to give it to them on this one, but you never have. We were right. We were right. These super critical YouTubers. And also, here's another thing. I don't know why Matt McNeff even formed his lipless mouth to talk about me and me saying something untrue. Because guess what, Matt? I wasn't in your town hall meeting. I wasn't there. I wasn't in your negotiations. I wasn't in your mediations. I wasn't in your settlement talks. I didn't read your settlement agreements. I have no freaking idea. That's why I asked Brian Mansell if he got paid. You think Brian Mansell gave me his account number and routing number and bank login for I could look at his bank information? No. So yet again, here I am having my credibility be called into question, having my honesty be questioned, impugned, attempted impeachment of my character, defamation and slander. And I'm right. All for asking a question. I get accused of making an accusation here in my comments. I know y'all know what I'm talking about when that happened. Now it's untrue. The YouTubers saying these statements is untrue. Bitch, I don't have access to Brian Mansell's freaking online banking. But I don't have to. Because first of all, I trust that he's telling the truth. And second of all, you confirmed what he said. You confirmed it. You didn't pay him yet. These two posts, or excuse me, these two statements that are represented in these two boxes were made a few days apart, but in the same week and about the same man. So the public press release, the Mansell family has been made whole by BAM. An unqualified apology was issued. Okay. Same week this was issued. Quote, he got us payment info to be able to pay him 2 days ago. Okay. So you are the one who said that it's true what Brian Mansell said. The town hall was not neutral about Brian either. Even though he's been very, very gracious to them publicly. He has the entire world on his side. Nobody is on Bricks and Minifigs' side. The whole internet, the whole world is on Brian's side. He could have pulverized them. He barely has said a word. He was silenced for a month. unconstitutional. They force a court to violate. They caused a court to violate Brian Mansell's rights to speak. And then as soon as they freaking did it, they went on a PR press campaign tour and lied. Ammon. We tried to reach out to him, but he didn't answer us. There's emails that prove that's false. In fact, indeed, it was the other way around. So he's been very kind. And yet they can't even bring themselves to just be somewhat respectful or neutral, even neutral. The two most senior officers, those deranged mad queens, I can't call them kings. I mean, please. Matt and Ammon, in their own words, to the people who run their stores. Quote, I think that's Brian, wants to still continue to paint himself as a victim. Well, hold on. Let's read their statement. Not even the one that's actually the joint statement. We've reached a resolution, resolves disputes. Mansell has been made whole. We're very glad for this. Whatever. Whatever disagreements existed, the Mansells experienced a genuine loss and a great deal of uncertainty and frustration, Ammon McNeff said. This is according to their own press release. Quote, we regret we were not able to more fully access the information necessary to fully understand and resolve the situation as our goal from the beginning, lie. Okay. So they regret it, but they don't apologize for it. It has to be pulled out of them later on. But they did eventually apologize. And they said the Mansells experienced a genuine loss and a great deal of uncertainty and frustration. Something else Brian Mansell said on my channel, and probably others, was part of the reason why they were able to come to an agreement was because the amount they settled for counted in for the fact, I'm paraphrasing here, that now he gets to talk. They knew he was going to be talking. It's one of the reasons why they didn't have to pay him as much. They apologized unequivocally. He didn't. They settled without an apology from him. They apologized unequivocally. They regret things, not him. They acknowledged that he was harmed. He didn't acknowledge that about them. So he is a victim. He is a victim. And he took less money than it would have taken to make him whole, because part of his making it whole was talking about it, just like Ammon got to do when Brian Mansell was silenced. Brian said last night he's only going on a handful select few YouTube channels. It ain't like he's going on every YouTube channel across the world. But perpetual victim, Ammon McNeff, CEO of Bricks and Minifigs, brand franchising, in the town hall, which happened yesterday. Okay, so okay, good to know. The town hall happened yesterday. So, update, amendment. The couple of YouTubers would have been, that I know of, Collecting Weekly, me, Lus, Barbecue Counselor, and probably not EBN yet. Oh, EBN too, because he had made a statement to them. So those 5 at least, and maybe there was more, but at least those many. Okay, so earlier I was like, I think it was only me and Collecting Weekly, but I now realize maybe it was up there before, but now I realize the ones that they would have been talking about. Let me silence my phone, girl. I thought it was on silent. Would have been Collecting Weekly. I'm going in order that I remember them happening. Collecting Weekly, me. Echo Base Network, Brian made a statement to as well. Before he went on their channel, he talked to them. So I'm counting it there. So it would be Collecting Weekly, me, Echo Base Network, on that same night. And then the next day would have been Lus, Barbecue Counselor. And then at night, EBN again, but they still got pushed out. Okay, so those are the 5 that I know of. Was it anybody else? Let me know. Thanks so much to Zan. They must think lie plus lie plus lie equal truth. It's just so, it's actually pathetic. It just makes me feel like, ugh, like I can't be around people that lying comes that easily, because the reason they're lying is because they're little scared bitches. Like, only people that has to lie like that is people that's scared of what's going to happen if they tell the truth. I'm not scared of the truth. Brian Mansell doesn't seem to be scared of the truth. Nothing Brian's ever said from what I've seen has been proven wrong, false. Not one single thing has ever been contradicted. Maybe I'm wrong, maybe I'm misremembered, maybe I'm biased, but in my memory right now, sitting right here today, I can tell you, no, I cannot think of one thing. Meanwhile, on the other hand, I can't think of one statement Bricks and Minifigs or Dan McNeff or Ammon McNeff has ever made ever that didn't have at least one material misstatement or lie. I can't think of one. Not even the stupid comment replies they were doing in Instagram. It's just the lying comes too easily to them. Deceive and destroy. That's what the devil comes to do, according to Mormon Jesus Girl. The enemy comes to steal, kill, and destroy. Should I get shotguns for my workers? I'm serious about this. Samuel, no, not on my watch. They think if they say it enough times and with enough conviction, they can make it into the truth. But they hath built their house upon the sand. And the walls are going to come tumbling down. No, I don't do quick recaps. Can I do a quick recap because somebody just got here? Every day I got to remind y'all I don't work for you. Oh, that's interesting. Thank you, Patrick, for the $5 super chat. They literally haven't even apologized yet. They just said they apologized. Brian said they haven't had a direct conversation at all. So everything has just been through lawyers. I mean, look. Just rewind. It's YouTube. It's crazy. Who are these PR people so I know never to hire them? They're based out of Georgia. NPRP, NRPR or something. He wants, this is Ammon's statement about Brian, after all they've already put him through, after admitting that he had harmed him. He wants to still continue to paint himself as a victim. Bitch, you painted him as a victim. That was you. The smell is coming from your own upper lip. The call is coming from inside the house. It was you that painted him as a victim. Quote, whatever disagreements existed during this process, the Mansells experienced a genuine loss and a great deal of uncertainty and frustration. Ammon McNeff said, and where am I quoting this from? Was it a hidden camera? No, you paid people to put this shit out. It's your statement from your PR company. The thing is, does Ammon think the people he's talking at in the town hall don't watch our videos? Do you think it's possible he could even think that? Ammon said he wants to still continue to paint himself as a victim. If he does anything that crosses the line again, like tell the truth that we agree with, he opens himself up for us to fuck him up. I mean, I'm paraphrasing, but that's pretty much what he said. They're going to cause difficulty and harm him. They're talking about a premeditated plan with an intention to harm Brian Mansell for telling the truth. Something they explicitly contractually agreed to allow him to do, by the way. And this is why you don't make deals with devils. They forgot that 5 seconds ago they just signed a contract that he's going to get to go and say stuff that's true. Well, how do you cross the line, Ammon? How? Y'all agree with him. You put the statement out on your freaking website, idiot. I guess we supposed to think Brian's in the back end of the Brick and the Minifig developer site, and he's posting up press releases as joint statements. He told me he didn't even know it was coming out. Not that we want to pursue that, but we can. Threat, difficulty, harm, threat. Ammon goes on, quote, so that's his 15 minutes of fame that he's working towards. Bitch, you are the one making short films. Your brother is the one that was all up in the theater, whatever in the hell company with the planetarium and all of that at the BY. Y'all are the ones that want 15 minutes of fame. It's you. He's already famous. He's already worked in Hollywood. He's already been around all of that. Okay, so that was Ammon's statement. Let's see how long it takes me to ragefully get through Matt McNeff's statement. Quote, yes, we could go on YouTube and publish the email and say, well, look, here's the date. We actually got the ability to pay him on this date. He's a liar, Matt said, just probably frothing at the mouth like a rabid animal. We could go on YouTube. No, you can't. You actually can't go on YouTube. None of us are going to have you on our channels. Actually, you know what, Matt? Come on. I would love to ask you about it. Bring the email too. Let's see it. Let's see it. My email's public. Let's see it. No problem. Come call Brian Mansell a liar over here. I think that would be a great plan, actually. You know, I was going to say that's a terrible idea. I think it's a great idea. You should come call Brian Mansell a liar publicly on this channel. That's a great idea, actually. We could all go on YouTube, he said, and publish the email and say, well, look, here's the date we actually got the ability to pay it. Wah. The counsel we have received from the professional PR people who ain't worth a damn, by the way, if this is what they tell y'all to do. Don't give in to the rage baiting. Baby boy, nobody over here thinks you are important enough to rage bait. The rage baiting is coming yet again from your upper lip. It's you. It's all you. Everything you accuse others of doing, it's just you. It's just you. No one's rage baiting. Everyone who made videos and public statements, and I'm going to speak on their behalf. They can comment below if I'm wrong. I'd venture to wager, which I don't bet. Every single person, every single content creator, every YouTuber who made a video, who made a statement about this, who went on another YouTuber's channel about this, every one of us probably all agreed you were the rage baiter. None of us would have made these statements but for the statement that you made. Y'all said he's been compensated. He's been made whole. We're ready to move past this. That was false. It's just not true. Okay. So everybody else had to respond to that. So really the rage baiter is again, you. Again. Yeah, you pay the lawyers, so they take their cut first, for sure. But the PR statement said Brian had been made whole. And then Matt McNeff said that wasn't true. He didn't. Matt McNeff confirmed yesterday that he only just got the information to pay Brian 2 days prior, so on the 23rd. So they agreed. It wasn't like, yeah, they wrote the check to we don't have to speculate like this. Like, oh, they wrote the check to the lawyer, maybe the lawyer took their, no. 4 days, 4 whole days went by. That statement stayed up there that he had been made whole. The whole 4 days it was false. The whole 4 days. And then however many more days after that it took them to actually get the money into his account. That is what happens when you make a premature statement. It is a true statement that the PR release was premature. You jump the gun, and now instead of just saying oopsie daisy, it's everybody else's fault, including now, I guess, mine and Luss's and barbecue counselor and EBN. I guess it's all our fault. And collecting weekly, it's not your fault for putting out something false again. Then to cover up the false shit, instead of just saying sorry, oops, we thought we'd be able to, we were so excited, we were jumped the gun, but it's coming. Making a little edit. I mean, even freaking TMZ puts an edit up. Update. We talked to the blah, 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 blah. Even TMZ does that. But you benefited from the lie. Or at least it obviously intended to. That's apparently what it looks like to me. I can't be in your mind. I don't know for sure. And this is how they're talking behind our back. Shout out to Making Law Simple in the chat. Thanks so much to Timeline Jumper YouTube for the $2. Amber Heard pledged payments. The Pledged Payments LLC. Thank you, Gamer Boy, for the jewels. Okay. So the rage baiters are mad that other people are responding to their lies. They calling us rage baiters. The people who paint Brian as a victim themselves are mad. He's telling the truth. He did not paint himself as a victim, by the way. He said he didn't have the money in his bank account. This is a true statement. Y'all got to learn the difference between an inconvenient fact and your feelings. One officer warned a settled, apologized to counterparty that speaking again exposes him to harm, even though he already explicitly agreed to allow this. He knew this was happening. The other says the company could go on YouTube and publish the email and prove Brian is a liar. Then said, what good is that going to do anyway? None. He then credits the PR of advice against rage baiting. The restraint is real, so is the fact that Bricks and Minifigs leadership sat in a room and weighed publishing a settled man's private email to discredit him. This is the company whose first apology in the entire history of the dispute had just happened less than a week before that. Bricks and Minifigs' public release calls this a resolution reached through voluntary mediation. That's supposed to be a confidential process. But in the town hall, the CEO, that's Ammon, walked the franchise body through what the mediated deal actually is. He gave details about it, apparently, He said it wasn't compensation for a wrong that BAM did, but a purchase. Bricks and Minifigs buys Brian's claims against a third party, and in return, he supplies documents and testimony pointing at someone else. So who else, girl? I don't know. He said, quote, we are purchasing his claims against the former franchisee. I don't know which one. Is it Crystal Law? Is it Ben Gorman? Is it Joshua Johnson, or is it Brandon Best? I don't know. The former franchisee. There's many. He, meaning Brian Mansell, is cooperating with us with documentation to be able to show that the former operator, again, who is the only one who actually was the ultimate responsible party. Now, who is one? Because at both times it was two owners. It was either Crystal and Ben Gorman, or it was Brandon Best and Josh Johnson. So, I mean, who's the one? He don't say. Everything's just so vague, so he can slip out of it later. Eamon also told the town hall there is not a non-disclosure component to this. So Brian Mansell can say whatever he wants. Okay, so shut the up. You're also threatening him in the same meeting to harm him for talking. So Brian Mansell is free to speak unequivocally, just like that supposed unequivocal apology. Bricks and Minifigs' own CEO is the one narrating a mediated settlements terms. And it's aimed to hundreds of people, and this site is already mapped where that aim points. The other party to the consignment contract is Crystal Law Gorman. Okay, so 2 days ago, the BAM map set the courtroom story against the sworn complaint. Okay, extortion, press release calling it that made holes during the courtroom. I don't think I read that. Town hall. Okay, this room analogy is a little extended for me. To the public, the money was done. Apology. Okay, I don't get this. All right. So it's not just ugly, it's discoverable. None of this was privileged. It was said to 300 franchisees on a recording. Yeah, this is discoverable. They could use this in court because it was like quasi public statements. I mean, he said it for 300 people in the middle of 2 lawsuits going on that Bricks and Minifigs is still fighting. What a company's officers say about a party to a live case is evidence in that case. And each line has a name in the law. Okay, retaliation, truth as a defense, BAM surviving defamation counts, the apology was managed. Okay, the paid witness, the settlement buys, man sells documents and testimony. Uh-oh. I don't know that I would say that because I don't think Brian Mansell could be bought. He might have said, I will agree to testify truthfully to the truth, because otherwise, good luck dragging me in. Yeah, so I mean, these freaks are obsessed with me. They're obsessed with everything we do. They're watching everything we do. Thank you to Michael for the $5 super chat. Why not send a check or money order? Scammers always want your bank account details to steal from you. I don't know how they asked for the money. Excuse me. I don't know how they asked to transfer the money. I'm almost certain that it would be through a wire transfer, and that would require you like actually go to the bank or have the lawyers do it. It's not like Ammon is going to get like Brian Mansell's bank info. It's like, it has to go through lawyers and stuff, but I don't know. They might have done a money order. I really don't know. I don't know. Thank you for the $5. Okay. Thank you to Rose Investigates for the $2 super chat. I can't explain we give to old people as anything but bad faith. Oh, $5 super chat. Thank you for the $5 super chat. Oh, shout out to Sheldon. Shout out to the Sheldon raid. Sheldon's live came here. Okay, and that actually brings me to the next topic. I do want to show y'all one other thing though, real quick. Honorable mention. Total A-Full made a video about this as well.
What's up, A-Full?
Today. It's right here. Did I link it down below? I don't know if I linked it down below or not. But it's right here. Bricks and Minifigs apologized, then did this. So this is another honorable mention. I wanted to let y'all know that was a good video. Total A-Full. But that brings me to my next topic, and it's another BAM map update. Yes, it is. And this one is the PR nightmare from hell. Okay, the PR campaign from hell. Hashtag we give to old people. TheBAMMap.com at it again. At it again. So, we give to old people. Bricks and Minifigs plan to turn the people it's accused of taking from into search results. Bricks and Minifigs crisis PR firm wrote the plan down. Now, have I seen this plan myself? No. Again, I'm relying on the reporting coming from the BAMMap.com. I'm relying on the fact that in the past, the BAMMap.com has gotten very reliable information. But in addition to this town hall, there's a whole nother drama going on. All right. Part 2 of today's video. Bricks and Minifigs has also put out to somebody, to some small audience. Maybe we'll see, who the actual audience is as we read through this. But like, internally, now it's been put out public. So now it's public. So I'm reacting to it. But they put out their PR plan. And y'all, it actually, when I was getting my nails done this morning, I was like, I had my one hand and like under the light, and I was like scrolling like this. And I was like, I was just beside myself, because it's like, I know how PR works. Oh, I know now. Oh, I know now how it works. It's sinister. But to see it written down like this, it's almost like when we were reading that operations manual that leaked or whatever, the one that came out. It's like, oh, that they were doing manipulative stuff, but to see how it's written and the way they wrote it, oh my God. It does not have an NDA. They apparently, Ammon said it did not. So now we're going to get into this PR plan. Hashtag we give to old people. Okay. The crisis PR firm wrote the plan down. They want to do 12 human interest, quote, story angles. Some of the angles include a veteran in PTSD recovery, a foster child, grandparents, a child with autism, the grown children of a parent who died and sold the Legos to a brick set of minifigs. But all of this is going to be engineered. In the words that are written down in the PR plan, they want it to be engineered so that, quote, every placement, a search result. Okay. So this is sinister. If true, look, I don't know if it's true or not. I believe it is. It's my belief. I personally am not in receipt of this PR plan. I'm reading it publicly from the bandmap.com. However, on the one hand, we're talking about, foster children, veterans in recovery for PTSD, grandparents who died, or parents who died and left their Legos to their kids, all this heartstring stuff. On the other hand, they're like, it's so that we can be in the search results. Is it to really help? No. Is it to really help the veteran with PTSD? No. It's to use him or her. And I say him or her because guess what? They ain't even picked their targets yet. That's just part of the plan. They still have to find these people. So they've already manufactured and engineered a storyline that someone now has to fit into. Are they going to tell those people that that's what's going on? Or are they going to act like they're trying to help them? Highlight their story. And all this stuff wouldn't have come out. Somebody put this out. The subjects are the exact people that Bricks and Minifigs is accused of taking or stealing from, or harming or violating in some way. Remember the child with autism who went in there and they gave him a grossly undervalued, a grossly lower than market value offer to buy the Legos that he had. Then when the mom came in, they gave him a much higher offer. And then later on, he ends up with a coupon sent to the phone or something. Remember the triangle of trust? Steal from old people. What if we give to old people instead? The people ordered to go find these victims. These targets. These subjects. Who else calls people subjects? Human beings. Mark Leta. It's dehumanizing. Hey, we just need any old random PTSD veteran, please, or any foster kid, a grandpa, an autistic kid. We need one of them. Somebody go find them. Quote, and then they obviously have the AI writing the PR plan, which is even more insulting. Even more. Every story, a real person. Every placement, a search result. Okay, ChatGPT, we could have asked that ourselves. How much does this PR company charge? Anyway, if you can get past the GPT PTSD, they want these stories to be, quote, placements, and they want it to turn up in search results so that their planted coverage, their AstroTurf campaign, they want it to overpower we the people and what we really think and what we're really saying and the truth. Its anchor campaign is hashtag we give to old people and we love old people. The sharpest angle is the one where they have the heirs who sold their Lego to Bricks and Minifigs after their parent passed away. Why? Because where I'm sitting, nobody probably wants to bring their valuable Legos collection to the Bricks and the Minifigs at this point. They probably want to figure out something else to do with it. Now, supposedly they don't do consignments or whatever over there. Maybe they do, maybe they don't. But who wants to bring their stuff to the Bricks and the Minifigs to sell it right now when you have other options? So, thank you, Richard. AI slop stories, people see through, and that's why we are here. No, this would never have worked. Aaron says it's not going to work. They honestly think BAM is in the same league as Bud Light. Wake up, smell the coffee. I mean, one program, two halves in their own words, is, quote, review removal services and removed from Google from its marketing. Okay. Every placement, a search result. Now, this is apparently, allegedly, we're being told from the marketing plan, a quote, every placement, a search result. The PR plan for the company that did nothing wrong asks for fair coverage or the truth. But this one asks for something else. It seems, and after we read this, you can be the judge for your own self, whether you agree or not, but the objective doesn't seem to be journalism. It seems to be search engine optimization. Every story a real person, every placement a search result. The plan's first angle promises the story of a customer's years-long hunt. Okay, so there's 12 different stories. So let's read through the stories. The first angle, remember it's 12 angles, human output machines. Now we have human angles. Okay. The plan's first angle proposes the story of a customer's years-long hunt for a discontinued set and annotates it, quote, we sort of have this. So they're saying we kind of have somebody that we might be able to, be the person we just shove into this spot to be the person who is on a years-long hunt for a discontinued set. Watch it be a Cloud City set with some sticker residue on it, y'all. A 2024 federal rule bans testimonials that misrepresent a real person's experience. The title page promises a real person. The first angle sort of has one. The plan does not stand alone. It's only one half. Briggs & MINIFIGS described the other half to its own franchisees in the town hall meeting. Its marketing lead, Katie Fagan, the one that smiles like this, said the following, quote, the other thing I'm going to be doing to rebuild trust. I don't know if she talks like this. This is just my Katie Fagan voice, director of marketing. Oh, wait, she's probably a Mormon. Let me amendment, adjustment. Me. The other thing I'm going to be doing to rebuild trust is to enlist review removal services. I was hopeful many things would just be removed from Google, but we know there's some stubborn reviews out there. The director of marketing said this yesterday, girl. Okay, so she wants to scrub the reviews off of Google, and then she wants to plant stories of their own. Okay, now do I know this goes on all the time? Absolutely. Have I been knowing about this for years? Oh yeah. But I never get to see the leaked PR meeting about it. Okay. They want to plant the features that rank in the place of the ones they get removed. They want to point both at the one screen a person reads before they decide whether to sell the dead parents collection to Briggs & MINIFIGS. The deleting half stopped being a gray area in October 2024 when the Federal Trade Commission's rule on consumer reviews took effect. So there's a new rule by the FTC, the Federal Trade Commission, as of 2024, so not even 2 years ago, where getting a fake or a defamatory review taken down is still fine. But if you're going to try to suppress genuine reviews with baseless claims, like a review removal service, that could be fined and punishable by law. $53,000 per violation, and it is federal. Katie. The stubborn reviews are very likely real reviews that say real true things. So, okay. The people in the plan are the people in the accusation. So a PR firm can profile anyone alive. That means like make a profile on them, like make a news article about them or whatever. But this PR firm made a list. The anchor campaign is built on old people because probably like hashtag we steal from old people. The accusation that builds its entire record is that Bricks and Minifigs steals from old people. Now, this is an accusation. I'm not even saying they do. I don't know if they stole or not. We're going to find out in court. But now what BAM is trying to do is pretty much take every PR hit that they've taken, which is like screwing over the, collector who wanted to sell the collection there, stealing from quotes, we steal from old people, the undervaluing the or under offering the kid that had autism, basically taking advantage of a child with autism, things like that. I don't remember too much veteran stuff. But then they also want to do, I think, a women one. Everything they've been accused of doing that might show up in like a Google search result, they're trying to now replace it in the Google search results. Okay. So Bricks and Minifigs' own lawsuit says they're mad. The transgression is that they've been characterized as, quote, thieves who steal from old people. Now, the PR plan is trying to answer that allegation or accusation with the opposite. No, we don't steal. We give to old people. Angle number 10, for example, doesn't pick a sympathetic subject. It instead picks the transaction. Quote, a parent passed away and their adult kids sold their Legos to BAM. The most natural and powerful kind of brand placement possible. That's the PR plan. Angle number 10 out of 12. So that's like the estate sale angle. A grieving family carries in a dead parent's collection, doesn't know what it's worth, and takes what the BAM Bricks and Minifigs store offers them. It's the exact intake this site has documented in the operations manual. The plan calls this moment the most natural and powerful kind of brand placement possible. The story earns its placement by being handled right. Then read the rest of the list. Veterans, foster children, autistic kids, the bereaved, women in a hobby that pushed them out. Every one of these people is a person that the enterprise stands accused of exploiting, and it's trying to recast them. Project, 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 project. The list of who Bricks and Minifigs PR plan wants to celebrate is the same exact list. The Venn diagram overlap is 100% of the same list of the people that it fears being caught taking from or stealing from. It's really corporate's problem though, right? How many times even has corporate itself, Bricks and Minifigs, AMN, Matt, Dan McNeff, how many times have you heard? These are independently owned and operated franchises. These franchisees are small business owners in parts of their community, and they had nothing to do with these issues with Crystal or Ben, all the Bens. How many times have we heard that? I mean, it's like I can't even count. But that doesn't stop Bricks and Minifigs from putting their problems onto their franchisees over and over every day, many times a day. Corporate doesn't know a single veteran in recovery for PTSD, doesn't know a single foster family, or a customer who just buried their parent. You know who knows them? Franchisees. Now, that's what the BAM map says. I'm obviously not in their brains. Maybe they know some, and maybe they just wanted to see if the franchisees could reach out first. But that is still the point. Instead of doing this themselves, they're even asking the franchisees. The plan assigns the franchisees, these supposedly independently owned and operated, whatever, who had nothing to do with this Bricks and this Ben, Reckless Ben, Brian, nothing at all to do with it. They have an assignment now. They work for corporate now. And they have to find in their own community a fragile person, a vulnerable person, a person, an angle, a human angle, talk to them and convince them to be profiled in a press release that's going to help Ammon and Bricks and Minifigs. The instruction exists in angle number 4. Quote, we need to tap all stores to see where the sincere heartstrings can be pulled. Seeing it in black and white, y'all, they're not just saying this in their own meetings with just Ammon and Matt now. I mean, they're like literally, imagine working for these freaking sociopaths. Even imagine working around them. And everything in your life depends on them. You have your full life savings and everything wrapped up into it. And they're saying stuff like this. We need to tap all stores to see where the sincere heartstrings can be pulled. They are literally recruiting these independent, owned and operated stores who did not make this problem, who did not make this mess, who did not cause all of these issues. It was literally all corporate. And they even say that they independently owned and operated store, but they're literally recruiting them into a mass manipulation campaign. If this is to be believed, which I do believe it. We need to tap all stores to see where the sincere heartstrings can be pulled. Sincerity. This is a resource to be tapped, to be located, to be pulled, and we are to be manipulated. They keep the clean end. Angle after angle, the line is the same. Franchisee provides context, not the interview subject. These are subjects, angles, not people. Quote, we approach through franchisee who knows them. Franchisee makes the introduction. The owner spends their trust. The PR firm banks the result. If it goes bad, the neighbor stops trusting their community member, the owner who was kind of lured and recruited into asking. But the PR firm just going to sit pretty. Corporate needs these vulnerable people. They can't find them themselves. And they want to make sure they're not the ones caught holding the bag. Then they say a bunch of lies. This is not a promotional story. The plan writes down the part most of the PR keeps quiet. This is not a promotional story. It's about a person. Bricks and Minifigs appears because it's where they found the sets and the community. This is the best brand placement. Hold on. That's the best kind of brand placement. That's the design. Bricks and Minifigs brand placement. It's like when you're like watching a movie and there's like a Coca-Cola can or something sitting over there. It's like somebody had to pay for that Coke can to get put there. Or like when there's a song in a movie, they had to pay for the rights to use the song, right? So this is kind of like placement. So they're saying, oh, this isn't PR for BAM. No. This is a story just about a person. Which person? They don't know. Just go find one. This is the best kind of brand placement. The brand placement engineered to pass as a news story about something else. So sort of like more deceiving. Now, the FTC kind of seems to have rules against that. Angle 9 of the plan states the underlying goal of the plan. The profile should cast the franchisee as a community figure instead of a Bricks and Minifigs chain operator. So these, quote, independently owned, not a chain, PR is helping them on, washing one hand and not wash another, because it's like they want to call these poor people independently owned and operate, independent owners and operators until they call on them to do something. And then when they call on them to do something and they say no, then what happens? They take their life savings or what? Angle 6 gives the same order for the brand. The foster child story positions Bricks and Minifigs as a community institution, not a retail chain. Okay, so it says reproduced verbatim below. All 12 angles, their dates, their parentheticals, and their typos. Nothing added, nothing removed, nothing summarized. Okay, here's the actual literal PR plan. No, they don't. Do they not even a little bit understand the internet yet? They can't. They can't. They choose everything the worst at every possible turn. Every possible turn, Colin. Every single turn. If they can make the wrong decision, they do. It's crazy. It's a little bit stunning. I'm stunned by it. Okay. So I want to put up a little pinned comment real quick because I want it to say like under here what I'm reading. So like this is like the verbatim actual PR plan to recover and quote earn trust. Angle 1, the hunt. Of course, the predators are going to start out hunting. A customer's years-long search. Okay, so this is, they're doing 12 stories they're going to try to plant. I bet you they won't now because their plan got foiled, but maybe they still will. Maybe they're that stupid. Okay. A customer's years-long search for a specific discontinued set in the moment they finally found it at a local bricks and minifigs store. We sort of have this. Why it gets placed. The hunt is a universal emotional hook. Okay, so emotional manipulation. This is how it's not called the dark arts of public relations for nothing, by the way. It's to manipulate us, the consumer. It's the point. The hunt is a universal emotional hook. They want to hook us emotionally that we already know exists in our network. We highlight the emotional story about the set that had sentimental value and the story behind how one BAM store owner helped a customer find it, right? So we're still playing on the local store owner's goodwill to make this is credibility laundering. Bricks and Minifigs knows they can't just come out and say, look what we're doing. But they've got all of us feeling bad for these poor, and rightfully so, local franchisees. They got all of us feeling bad for them, rightfully so, a lot of them. And now it's like, let's play on that. Let's use everybody's existing sympathy for these local franchisees. Look, a local BAM a local BAM store owner helped a customer find some Legos they needed. This is why they're placing it. It plays well, plays. See this? Emotional hook, plays. They're playing us. As a human interest feature and great social posts, right? How can we go viral? 2, emotionally manipulate people. Readers who have never touched a Lego set understand the feeling of searching for something lost. What we need: a target, somebody to make the story about, one franchisee with a compelling customer hunt story. The PR firm, NRPR, interviews the customer for 30 minutes, and then they write and place the story. Angle 2, we give to old people. Grandparents' Day. This is going to be on September 13th. So when's the first one? Angle 1 don't have a date. Angle 2 is Grandparents' Day, and this is September 13th. So this is about, 2 to 3 weeks away. 3 generations in one store. This is the angle. 3 generations in one store. 1 afternoon. 1 Lego set. A visual and emotional story about what gets passed down. Why does this get placed? Well, this is the plan's anchor event, which can be a nationally recognized date that gives local editors a ready-made peg. Local editors. So they're going to try to place these stories in like the Daily This That, the East West Tribune, the Salt Lake whatever in the hell. They're going to look, local editors, they're going to place these stories. Why? Because it's a Grandparents' Day event. And it's a date, a nationally recognized holiday. So they're literally still exploiting even the image and likeness of old people. They can't help themselves. They're just it's parasitic, vampiric. It's sick. It actually makes me feel like actually bad and sad for them because I know it has to be just such a miserable life they live. To never be able to just create something on their own and have sovereignty and stand on their own without pointing fingers and using somebody else, someone else's money, someone else's work, someone else's ideas. They can never create anything. Britney Spears was right. There's 2 types of people in the world. I'll just say some of them are observers because they can't create nothing. Anyway, the anchor event is we give to old people, and they are going to be putting it in the newspapers. This is a multi-generational visual. Okay, visual. We got to have a visual. Now, God forbid they just say, hey, everybody, let's start blasting the truth everywhere. Just everybody go out and say what you really think. Go and say what you really think. Because, I mean, why? Because that would actually probably bankrupt the franchise. I mean, it would be over. In my opinion. The multi-generational visual is perfect for a natural photo feature for print for the local editors. We pitch it both as a franchise-wide moment and store-specific event details per market. Hashtag we give to old people. Hashtag we love old people. NRPR will draft media alert skeleton for franchisees to use in their markets. What we need. Franchise-wide event commitment on September 13th. One media anchor store. What in the hell is a media anchor store? Per metro. Okay, so they're going to be putting with local editors per metro area, willing to host and be photographed. We should decide on pushing this forward no later than August 1st. Veterans recovery is angle 3. The angle, a veteran who uses Lego building as part of his, or her, because we don't have anybody yet, PTSD recovery, and found a store that feels like a community. Veteran mental health stories are among the most reliably placed human interest features in American journalism. It is so cringy to see how they talk about us, like regular people. I'm not a veteran, by the way. Thank you to the veterans. But I just mean the masses, the people. We the people. This is how they talk behind our back. I know that these are also we the peoples, but like they have this position where they think that they are entitled to lie to us and manipulate us. Or at least to mislead us. There's no law against a PR company lying, right? There's no law against it. There's no law about putting out a fake news story. I mean, I guess there kind of is, like to some extent. You could sue for defamation or, consumer protection or whatever. But in general, yeah, I mean, they can just lie. So why are they doing this? Why are they going to be relying on a veteran, a disabled veteran as a human interest angle? Well, because veteran mental health stories are among the most reliably placed human interest features in American journalism, meaning if we write a story about PTSD and veterans, we have a higher chance of getting it placed in the newspaper. So we need one. We got to use these people and exploit them. The Lego as therapy angle adds specificity and visual interest. This is not a promotional story for BAM, even though it obviously is. But they say it's about a person. Bricks and Minifigs appears because it's where they found the sets. Okay, so if you go out and find somebody that found sets at Brick by the Brick or whatever, you're going to do a story on that? No, obviously not. So clearly, it's supposed to be designed to be misleading. Or at the very least, I think cover up that it obviously is a promotional story. That's the best kind of brand placement. What we need, one veteran with PTSD. They left that part out. It has to be with PTSD diagnosis who's in recovery, willing to be profiled. Okay, we're profiling targets, we're profiling subjects, angles. Are they going to tell the veteran with the PTSD that this is what they're doing? It's all part of a 12-step PR push, or no? We approach through franchisee who knows them. Full consent process led by NRPR. Franchisee provides context, not the interview subject. Angle 4, individual store owner highlights. The angle, we need to tap all stores to see where the sincere heartstrings can be pulled. Why it gets placed, we need to tap store owners for personal triumph and goal-reaching stories. The media loves human-centric stories and hero moments. Well, then y'all got to be heroes. It's just sick to me. They depend on the lifeblood of these franchisees. They are latched on and leeched on like a bunch of freaking leeches and ticks. Not a damn thing can they get done without these franchisees. Without their work, blood, sweat, and tears, franchise fees, royalties, buying the Legos from them, Nothing can BAM get done without these franchisees. It's vampires, in my opinion. Yeah, Colin, my PR voice is very widely based on I'm tour guide Barbie. Customer service, voice. Hi, I'm tour guide Barbie. Hold on. Vampires. Ooh, that was a good one. Good job, Oz by Drone. Good job. Vampires is so good. I know. That was Oz. That was Oz by Drone. Yeah, it's a really good. Yeah, I mean, if they want a hero moment, they could probably make some leather masks and be superheroes. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Individual store owner highlights. We need to tap store owners for personal triumph and goal reaching stories. Media love human-centric stories and hero moments following adversity. Following adversity. Bitch, you did not have no adversity. You are the villain. And it don't matter if you shave the villain mustache. It's all implanted into the collective conscious at this point. You might as well just grow it back. You might as well just grow back. So you're not facing adversity. You haven't faced adversity. You have faced the consequences of your own actions, and it's been pretty light compared to what it could be. Barely have you started facing consequences of your own actions. This is not adversity. Okay. We open the forum to all store owners to change these highlights with us. Share these highlights with us. And then we choose where we tell these stories in the markets, what we need. Anybody to do the story about? Possibly survey franchisees or get them to share their private adversity stories with us so that we can put it online. Then we reach out to them to gather more. If there's a viable story to tell, first, we'll tell them about the idea during a franchise all hands meeting. And I think they talked about it yesterday at the town hall. Okay, so angle 5. We're on 5 out of 12. The angle. Women in a historically male hobby. Women in a historically male hobby space. Profiles of female collectors, builders, and BAM store owners who are changing who Lego belongs to. Why is this getting placed? Women make up a growing share of Lego's collector market, and virtually none of its media coverage. Don't threaten me with a good time, Bricks and Minifigs, because I'll be number 1 soon. If you want to talk about none of the media market. Women, I don't really cover Lego. I cover like corruption, tyranny, and idiots. And it just so happens Lego overlaps here. Anyway, but yeah, there really isn't a lot of like women Lego, news that I've seen. This is an underserved angle with a strong placement potential in women's lifestyle, culture, and business media. 2 or 3 profiles, a female store owner, a collector, a builder, can run as a single feature piece with high shareability, right? So again, manipulating us, trying to pretend like they got DEI over there, but do they know a single woman who this applies to, even though they need 2 or 3? No, they still need that. 2 to 3 women willing to be profiled. Not it. Put a 3 in the chat if not it. Ideally, 1 store owner, 1 collector, and 1 builder across different markets. NRPR conducts interviews with each and writes the pitch as a unified feature. Yay, women. Woohoo. I love it when people are in the back end trying to manipulate us by running a "we love women" piece. So fun. So fun. Okay, angle 6, the foster child gift. 1 store owner, this is the angle. 1 store owner who quietly gave a Lego set to a child in the foster system, told through the child's reaction. Quietly? You see how manipulative these idiots are, these freaks, these losers and freaks? We write a public story to be placed all over the damn place. We write a public story specifically engineered and designed to be on the front page. Meanwhile, we take down all the other stuff about how one owner quietly gave a Lego set to a foster kid. Okay, why in the fuck are we doing it quietly when you're now going to put it out public? Huh? And then we got to get the foster child and exploit them too by putting them all over the story, putting their face and everything. So we'll just do that. Do we know the foster child? No. We got to get the store owners to use their credibility to get one. All for the benefit of what? Them. Why does the foster kid story get placed? Well, this story works because it's specific, small, and true. Well, we don't know if it's true yet. We don't know if there's a store owner who quietly gave a Lego set to a child in the foster care system yet, right? I mean, it's just an assumption. Told from the perspective of the family it mattered to. That specificity is what gets placed and what gets shared. It also positions Bricks and Minifigs as a community institution, not a retail chain. What's wrong with just being a retail chain? Why does everything got to be a community institution when it wants to have 750,000 stores? What we need, a child to exploit, as usual. One store owner who has done something like this or would. So we're going to get the store owner. If we can't find somebody that did this is sinister. The PR plan says, look, if we can't find a store owner who quietly gave a Lego set to a child, just find one that would be willing to. We'll just create the whole story. It'll just be totally just for PR. We'll get the Lego set. We'll quietly have the store owner quietly give it to the foster kid. Then we got to get the foster kid to talk about it. So find somebody that would be willing to do that. And then we're going to run the story, even though it's quietly gave. Now we're going to put it all on public. It's not even legal to photograph a foster kid. You got to get the state's permission. I think you could get the permission of the foster parent, right? I don't know. I don't know the law. That's the first time I'm hearing that. You could totally be right. I don't know. Why does the story get placed? Store owner has done something or would, and you need the family consent handled entirely within our PR with sensitivity, even though we're going to exploit this child and use them for our own PR gain. It really is vampirism. Like, it literally actually is. You're taking a child who already has enough freaking problems if they're in the foster care system. I can guarantee you that. In Utah, of all places, but maybe it'll be somewhere else because it's the whole franchise-wide thing. You put them out. You have them talk. You have the store owner, right? So it's literally, I came up with this reason. There's credibility laundering. Bricks and Minifigs knows they're fucked. Nobody trusts them. So not only are they putting human shields in between them and the public by way of their franchisees who are supposed to be independently owned and operated and all that, but then they're putting another layer. So they're setting up this whole scheme, this whole plan to trick us. Give the kid the toy, the Lego. Then the PR agency will contact the kid, do a whole consent thing. Then we're going to run the story. It's going to make Bam look so good. It's like borrowing credibility off other people without telling them why or that you're doing it. And I do not like it. It's a fucked up energy exchange for a set of Legos. The story is background. The child and the family are the story. Of course. Exploiting children are us over fucking here. Legal review of the consent language has to happen before we approach the family. And we're not done yet, y'all. Now it's ADHD, angle 7. ADHD now. First it was foster. First it was PTSD veterans, women, other adversity stories. Now, and then we had foster kids. Now we got ADHD. How hands-on building offers focus, calm, and social connection for children with autism. See, again, is this something Bricks and Minifigs has done? No. It's just building Legos does this. You could get a Lego from anywhere. Why I need to get it from Bricks and Minifigs? Why I got to get it from Bricks and Minifigs? Okay, why it gets placed. Let's see. This is one of the most emotionally resonant stories in this plan. It has direct placement potential in health, parenting, and educational media. Look where they're trying to get it put. They have to craft a story to put it in health, parenting, and education. Parents of children with autism and ADHD regularly cite Lego as a tool for regulation and social engagement. One family's specific story, grounded in their experience, is a features editor's dream. One family specific story about ADHD and Legos, grounded in experience, is a features editor's dream. What we need, someone who's willing to put their ADHD kid out there for us and our credit and our reputation. That's what we need. In our PR will lead outreach and consent. Franchisee provides the connection. See, look, are they going to get paid for that? This broker that's helping launder your credibility? Story is handled with full editorial care. Angle 8, the loss story. Oh, good. Let's pull some heartstrings, y'all. The angle. A customer who lost their collection in a house fire or a divorce. Let's get that cortisol going. Let's get these teen heart beating. Divorce. Cross-country move, and they lost their Legos and they rebuilt it set by set. Girl, why they didn't say brick by brick? Through BAM. Why does it get placed? Loss and recovery is the oldest story structure in journalism. A collection lost in a house fire. Sets given away in a divorce. Childhood sets thrown out by a parent. Trauma, trauma, trauma. House fire. Divorce. Your parent getting rid of your shit. The second chapter, finding the pieces again. Affordable at a local store. This is the emotional payoff editors look for. How's it feel to look behind the curtain, y'all? Have you ever seen this before? I knew it. This angle is replicable. You can replicate it across many customers and markets without being generic. We need one compelling customer. They don't even have freaking one. With a specific loss and recovery story. In our PR, we'll interview them for 30 minutes. We need a strong photo too for the news articles. The news. This is the news now, y'all, just so you know. I mean, I know y'all like to, some people, I know a lot of y'all agree with me and you already know this, but a lot of people like to say this is a conspiracy theory to say that the news is fake. Baby girl, this is the news. This is the news. This is how it happens. When you're reading those little news stories, 85% of the time, and when it's in a big, like a national paper, probably more than 85% of the time, this is how it gets placed. Angle 9. Hold on. One strong photo, ideally of the rebuilt collection or a meaningful piece. Franchisee makes the introduction because they don't have any of their own people. So the franchisee has to make the introduction. Again, vampires. They can't do any of this shit on their own. They need those. It's like, remember that movie Ants? Where the ants, like the grasshoppers, would come around and take all the seeds for the harvest each year, and the poor ants had to spend the whole time gathering up. And then the ants one day, one harvest, realized like actually there's like not even that many grasshoppers. Like if they all team up together, that's how these franchisees are. In my opinion, they're just being used. And when they all finally realize, and I'm sure a lot of them already have, and decide they're not going to take it anymore, that's the day it's actually all she wrote for Bricks and Minifigs. And every single town hall and every single pulling them in to rehabilitate corporate's reputation and every single ounce of energy and money and empathy and compassion that they suck like the vampires they are out of these poor corporate franchisees. I mean, these poor independent franchisees. It's going to eventually come back. I mean, it's going to eventually come back upon them because you can't keep using and not giving the same in return for infinity. You just can't. You just can't. Oh, it was Bug's Life? Okay, excuse me, Bug's Life. Those movies came out so close. Okay, a second career. The former corporate executive, says angle 9, the former corporate executive who left their first career to open a Lego resale store and never looked back. And then they have a possible person here, but that's because it's still a franchisee. Like, they still are vampires. They still are the grasshoppers who are taken from the ants. They still need a franchisee. They can't do it on their own. The SoCal store. This gets placed because the quote, unlikely entrepreneur profile is an evergreen business story. We like this story for a new store owner, so hopefully SoCal. Free publicity for their store opening too. Two birds, one stone, everybody. It positions the franchisee as a community figure rather than a chain operator, even though they pretty much are a chain operator at this point. The Lego angle adds charm and specificity that generic small business profiles lack. So look, are we ready to start a petition? Are we ready to start a petition to Lego to actually do something at this point? I mean, my God, how many of these PR things depend directly on the goodwill that Lego itself has built? How many? We're on angle 9. Let's see. Number 1, The Hunt. Yep, discontinued set. That's Lego. Grandparents' Day. Yep, Lego set and a visual. Yep, number 2. Veteran who uses Lego building as part of their PTSD recovery. Yep. Could he still do that without BAM? Individual store owner. Maybe this one might not involve Lego. So what we have 3 out of 4 so far. Female collector. Yeah. Collecting what? Legos. Yep. So 4 out of 5. The foster child gift. Yep. Got to give a Lego set. Can't give something else. They're not giving anything else. They're not giving a brick by the brick set or somebody else, off-brand. No, it's Lego. All of this depends on Lego. 5 out of 6. ADHD and Lego. Yep. Could that ADHD kid still build a Lego set without BAM? Yep. So again, 6 out of 7 depend on Lego. They're almost all depending on Lego, the brand Lego, the name Lego, the building of Lego, which could only be done because of the R&D of Lego and the intellectual property of Lego. None of this has anything to do with bricks and minifigs except so far maybe number 3, 4. Individual store owner highlight. And this has to do with heartstrings. Angle 8, loss. Yeah, lost their collection. Got to go get their Legos from BAM. This one, I'll give it to them. I'll let them have this one. Okay. Even though it is all Lego and all that, I don't see Lego in all caps here. So fine. 2 out of 8 don't depend directly on Lego, and 6 out of 8 depend directly on Lego. A Lego resale store. Yes, depends directly on Lego. Second career. The unlikely entrepreneur. But we need the Lego angle because it adds charm. Lego, use the franchisees, use the autistic kids, use the veterans. Don't say sorry. Don't ever actually apologize. Don't admit you ever did anything wrong. Use. Then discard. And if anybody has anything to say about it, especially the truth, they're lying. Go attack them. We're still not going to apologize, but go attack them. What do they need? Actually, someone to freaking do it. Hopefully SoCal. Free publicity. One franchise. Yeah, free publicity. And I don't think it's going to be the kind like what they want. The Lego angle adds charm. Does Lego know that this whole entire brand is hanging on by barely a thread and the thread is Lego? Maybe they don't care. Angle 10. Oh, wait, hold on. One franchisee with a compelling pre-BAM career story willing to be profiled. This is also interesting to me because this is for the store opening. Because look, the angle doesn't even match the person they tried to find. This has to be never looked back. Bitch, he didn't even open his store yet. How did he never look back? Or she? Or they? How did the store owner never look back? They ain't even opened the store yet. This never looked back has to be somebody that's been doing it a while, no? One franchisee with a compelling pre-BAM career story, willing to be profiled. NRPR will conduct the interview and pitch it as a standalone business feature. Now, angle 10, the inheritance. Oh boy. Is this to try to get that search engine optimization for bricks and minifigs, inheritance, Lego collection? Yeah, I think so. I think so. A child, the angle. A child grew up and decided to pass their toys on to other kids. Or a parent passed away and their adult kids sold their Lego to BAM. Okay, both of these things are emotional heartstring stories. Number one, dead parent. Everybody in the world can identify with that. Oh, that's sad. Either your parents haven't died yet and you know that's going to be pretty sad, or they already died and you know that's sad. The parent passed away. Oh no, I'm sad now. Now I need a solution to my sadness. The kids sold the Legos to BAM. What a nice, happy story. The child is growing up. Oh no, coming of age. Oh no, we all can identify with that. When we all grew up and we wanted to do something nice and innocent, like give our toys away to other kids. Why does this get placed? Because like what I just said, happy memories and objects. Like the movie Toy Story. So many of our favorite toys have a history. Why not seek something like that out at a BAM location? It requires only one true story and one willing person. Only one true story. So what about you going to put some fake ones out or what? The BAM store appears as the place where the story's emotional climax happens, which is the most natural and powerful kind of brand placement possible. What we need, a subject with a specific story. And our PR will lead all outreach with sensitivity. This story should not be rushed. It earns its placement by being handled right. Okay. Angle 11, building as therapy. The angle, adult customers who use Lego. Here we go again, Lego. So what are we at, 9 out of 11? No, we are at 8 out of 11. Nope. Lego to BAM. Nope. 9 out of 11. Building as therapy. The angle is adult customers who use Lego building to manage anxiety, depression, and burnout. Girl, it is still nothing to do with bricks and minifigs. You could get Legos from anywhere. You could get them from eBay. You can get them from the Lego store. You can go to the thrift store. You could buy them online. You could go to lego.com. You could go to brickbythepound.com, whatever. You don't got to get them from BAM. This whole story depends on Lego's reputation, their product, their intellectual property to rehabilitate bricks and minifigs reputation. I think that is sinister, in my opinion. They are vampires. They have to take. That's not accusing of a crime. That is a law of nature. They cannot create, so they must take. It's like humans with oxygen. We got to take. The trees make it. We got to breathe it, or else. So they don't have their own credibility, so they have to launder credibility through the Lego. Oh, it's Lego. Look, we got Legos over here, even though we suck. We got Legos, everybody. Look, it cures depression and burnout to build Legos. And the emerging science behind why it works. Why does this get placed? Mental health and mindfulness content. Not because it's going to actually help somebody's mental health and mindfulness, by the way. We want to help people, and that's awesome. No. It's among the most consumed editorial in digital media right now. So be on the lookout for some digital articles, digital stories in the mental health and mindfulness space, mental health and mindfulness content about Legos helping to manage anxiety, depression, and burnout. There is real research behind the therapeutic effects of repetitive, focused manual activity. And Lego is one of the most cited examples. Lego, again, Lego, not bricks and minifigs and not BAM. 2 or 3 adult customer voices, plus a therapist. Now they're getting doctors involved for their brand credibility because they are so untrusted right now, untrustworthy entirely. And look, laundering credibility. Now, this is not an accusation of a crime. It's just a phenomenon. They can't stand on their own. They have to leech on everybody else's good name. They have to, because they've ruined and soiled and sullied their own. They need people, 2 or 3 people, plus a therapist. Where are they going to find a therapist? Maybe one works at the PR firm, girl. It will make it a credible features piece. But we know it's not credible because now we see how the sausage is made. Not a product story. BAM is just going to be where they find their sets. Just so happen. We need a bunch of people for this too, by the way. 2 or 3 adult customers willing to share their experience. 20-minute conversations, optional therapist quote from, oh yeah, okay, good. The NRPR has therapists on a speed dial, girl, on standby, ready to just write any fucking thing. And they wonder why we don't trust the medical industrial complex anymore. They got the therapists out here doing BAM's dirty work, working for PR companies. It's detestable. Detestable. Will Wright, franchisees should provide the customer connections. So they're not only depending on Lego's reputation, they're depending on the customer connections of the franchisees. The last angle, local community spotlight. Different from number 3, this is a meet the neighbor story about how we're building community and creating ties between customers. Why does this story get placed? Well, because the local business profile is going to focus on how we help introduce community members to each other and build our legacy as they build their stores. Any local paper, business journal would love to run stories like these. The Lego angle makes it distinctive. Again, Lego. So what do we have? 10 out of 12 stories depend extensively materially on Lego and Lego's reputation and Lego's good name. As people build with Lego, BAM stores build the community. What we need, a franchisee in a market, but maybe even a few, for a few different stories in different markets, ideally with each having a strong personal backstory. Now, the BAM app goes into, the law. If you try to suppress legitimate reviews, that's a violation of the federal law. And this has been in place since October 2024. No fake reviews allowed, no purchased reviews allowed, and no undisclosed insider reviews allowed, no review suppression of legitimate views. And this would be a federal offense or violation, a federal violation of up to $53,000 per violation. The placement half sits under the FTC Act and the endorsement guidelines. An endorsement that hides a material connection, like they are seemingly aiming to do in this PR plan, or if it is somehow formatted to conceal that it is actually an advertisement, is deceptive under the federal law. Now, the plan has to kick off by September 13th. The anchor event for this PR plan is Grandparents' Day, September 13th, 2026. This is a franchise-wide commitment, one media anchor store per metro area, willing to host and be photographed. The deadline is set itself to be decided no later than August 1st. And it seemed like they decided it because it got talked about yesterday at the town hall, apparently. In the coming weeks, that can be read against the document above, angle by angle. Every grandparent's feature, every veteran's recovery, every inheritance story that surfaces about bricks and minifigs now arrives with assembly instructions already public on this site that we just read. The sourcing chain, the pitch language, and the hashtags. This is a story that's engineered to become a search result, by the way. It's going to share the results page with this. That was a metric they chose. It goes in both directions. Woo! Okay, BAM app. Okay. In fair reading, this is not illegal. This is not against the law in and of itself. Now, what does seem like, it starts to teeter is the deception part where it's like, we're not going to tell anybody where we got these stories from. It really is an ad, but we're not going to say that we had it placed. This is where it starts to teeter. All right. My nerves are bad. Let me get my BJC stress block. I wish it squeaked. Squoke. Thank you to Nick, EBN, for the 1,000 jewel trophy cake. Shout out to Echo Base Network. Thank you, China, for the jewels, and to Bird Means Brain for the jewels. Thank you so much to That Came Out Wrong for the $5 super chat. I have connections to a national veterans organization. If they do this to the group, they will be called out. Hunting for PTSD vet, yuck. Thank you for your service. And also, yes, yuck. Thank you for the $5. Thank you to Rebecca for the 2 jewels. And again for the, thank you, Chris Gorman for the $5. Chris says, when I was an owner, I would donate parties to Make-A-Wish recipients and gift them a set, but it wasn't for PR. This is so manipulative. See, they want somebody to quietly do it and then publicly put it out to make BAM look better. It's sick. And shout out to you for doing that. Thank you to Don Say for the €5 super chat. Crystal gave Legos for free and not just once. After Bricks and Minifigs decided to steal money, allegedly, according to allegations, innocent until proven guilty, in the form of gift cards, Crystal knew she would not be able to get money from BAM. She did say that. She did say that. Thank you, Meg, for the 30 jewels. Thank you, Katie, for the $5 super chat. Hit the like, everyone. BJ deserves all the likes. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, Brandon, for the 2 jewels. Thank you, Sheldon Norcross, for the $1.99 super chat. Manipulating old people is the new move instead of stealing from old people. Thank you for the $1.99. Thank you, Sode Freak, for the 5 jewels. Thank you to Review DS Phil USA. Thank you to Davey for the jewels. Yes. Hey, Chris, we are here with you. Bragging about your charity donation is yikes, but we know already Legally Mine does it for tax reductions. Not only bragging, but like paying to have the thing placed. Crazy. Good people don't need to go to these levels of deception. And you know what happens to good people? Very often these levels of deception get levied against us. This type of PR campaign has been levied against me when I started getting too close to the truth. It's already happened to me before, so I know what to look for. I know the signs. I know the symptoms. Shout out to Chris and Sheldon and EB and Nick. Thank you to Shauna Griffin for the 6 jewels. Now, I do know a little bit of something about a certain mustache. Hold on. I did hear about a certain mustache situation happening, but I am going to be either going live or doing a pre-recorded video with a special guest. Okay, so I'm not going to talk about that right now. I'm going to have another special guest. I went from doing no interviews on my channels to, I guess I just have people on here all the time now. But it's been fun. It's been fun. Hold on. Let me look. Kind of got to do some back end things over here. Bricks and Minifigs just keeps making every wrong turn, every wrong move, in my opinion. I mean, golly, they should have literally just listened to my PR advice from the beginning. It was free and it would have helped. It would have actually done something. But now, I mean, my God. Okay. Okay. All right. So let's see. So another thing about the mustache. Okay, what else? Okay. Okay. This EBN PR campaign from Hell Girl. That was so embarrassing. I had something else I wanted to tell y'all about. Hold on. What was it? Okay. All right. So let me check the Pacer. Maybe that's what it was. Let's see. You never know when something's going to just be filed over there on Pacer. Haven't checked in a while. I think since yesterday. That's a while for me. Oops. No, not that. Hold on. Eh. I don't expect anything to have been filed. Yeah, it's so true. The hammer, you were so right from the beginning. They just needed to come together with Ben, allow themselves to look a little silly, publicly apologize. All would have been cleared up in a week. Story would have been over. Story would have been over. The mustache was placed in a credible home down the sink. The mustache is in witness protection. They might have thought Matt was Ammon or Ammon was Matt. It was an evil mustache, but a decent one, to be fair. Yeah, I mean, that was one of the things that was like, yeah, it's like main character or like villain. But like, just know your place. You're the villain. Anything we interwebs call out, they try to counter with the opposite. The mustache is now up for auction on eBay. No, the mustache is a separate legal entity. Goofy cart number 6 is the mustache. When will Ammon tell us that he has actually been Matt wearing a fake mustache all along? The mustache went looking for the eyebrows. The mustache is the next special agent. The mustache is in the U-Haul. Y'all, oh my God. They should both go down with the ship. CJ said, I firmly believe they haven't been able to settle with Ben because Ben won't accept any settlement that doesn't include the chicken dance. The mustache returned to its home planet. The mustache was his ego. No, he still has it, apparently. He still got the ego. I guess that means Snidely won't apply to him now. Good on Ben. The mustache has turned states and is in witness protection. The mustache abandoned the store. The mustache got settlement in the divorce. L-Dog has said they have gotten away with so much before that they really thought they could get away with daring the internet to dig into them. They are incapable of admitting fault. Always someone else. Can you imagine where that rash? I don't know. What about a rash. I don't know about a rash. The mustache got arrested. I must ask you a question. Article 13, alone mustache. Oh, man. Imagine being a lawyer during negotiations and literally just begging Ammon McNeff to do the chicken dance. Ammon must be mad that shaving it off didn't stop the jokes. The ego ran away for personal reasons. The ego is still there. It's all he has left. The mustache went be with Tattle. Oh. It's testifying against Crystal, and the mustache is the only witness against Crystal. That's not what CJ said, but that's what I just thought when I read it. The mustache is testifying against Ammon and Crystal's RICO case. I don't think they saw Don't F with Cats. Witless protection wasn't a typo. I hope the mustache got a shotgun to keep Ammon away. He needs to ask. The mustache needs to ask the cops. Anyway, all right, y'all keep your mustache jokes. All right, keep the mustache jokes. I'm saying it so many times it's getting hard to say mustache. Okay, let's look at the Pacer and see if anything new has been filed. I totally do not expect there to be anything new filed on the Pacer, but let's just see. Let's see. No. So the most recent thing on the docket was 20 days ago. Document number 32. August 6, 2026, order granting stipulated and joint motion to toll the deadline to file special motion for expedited relief, and for good cause appearing. The court hereby grants the motion. Okay, so this is when, I don't know if it was Brian or Ben or who, one of them had asked for some more time to answer the complaint, and that was the court saying yes. It's not dismissed yet. Nope, no update. Brian got the mustache in the settlement. Oh my God. What if that was part of the settlement that he had to shave it? Okay. Keep the theories. We're going to go over it with a special guest. Later. Not right now. It's either going to be live or it's going to be. Wait. Wait, hold on. I think I got some exclusive breaking news. Wait a second. Wait, hold on. I just got word of some exclusive breaking news. Hold on. Hold that thought. Oh my God. I just saw a picture y'all are going to want to see. Oh, it's not exclusive breaking news. Sheldon already went live about it. Oh my God. This is a real picture. Okay, I got to show y'all a picture. Hold on. Oh my God, this is crazy. Okay. I'm going to show y'all a picture. Brian Mansell is a freaking icon. I cannot believe this. Hold on. I'm, technology, etc. Okay. Did y'all see this? I don't know how you would have. I think Sheldon was live. Maybe y'all did. Look, guess who this is with a better mustache than Ammon? Do you recognize this person? I didn't even recognize him. That is Brian Mansell. I asked if this is AI. Sheldon said no. Brian needs to keep the mustache. I'm just going to say, put a 5 in the chat for Brian's mustache. This mustache is better than Ammon's mustache. This is crazy to me. When is this from? Right now? Okay, so Sheldon Norcross posted a video about that earlier. And what I'm going to do now, I'm going to send you back over there to him. He's going to be talking about, I think, Provo Canyon. But y'all might be able to bully him into talking about the mustache for a minute. Don't bully Sheldon. I do have y'all going over there. I'm just making sure the redirect is actually set up right. Have y'all going over there? He's going to be talking about Provo Canyon. The Provo Canyon video ended up being Reckless Ben's, I think, most viewed video at all. Oh, he's not. He's going live about a game. Okay. Okay, whatever. So he's going live about a game, but I bet you can get him to talk about playing a game. I bet y'all can get him to talk about Brian's mustache for a minute. Thanks so much to Ross for the 10 at Jules. Okay, what else? Oh, it's old. Okay, it's old. Oh my God. He should do it again since now Ammon apparently his mustache ran away. Anyway, okay, that's all I really had for this one. I might be back a little bit later with a special guest. We'll see. I think I am, though. That's the plan. So I'll see y'all later. In the meantime, facts ain't defamation. Neither are opinions. Everybody's innocent until proven guilty. That PR plan absolutely sucks. I hope they abandon it. Love you, Mina K. Bye.